Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the All Too Real 2 podcast. I am your host, Michael E. Cullen II, and with me as always is...
Matthew Haas, co-host and friend of the world. And you're a part of the world, so that means I'm your friend. Or I consider myself your friend. You don't have to consider me your friend, but I consider me to be your friend.
So are they like real friends or Facebook friends?
Facebook, no, real.
Okay. MySpace friends?
Yeah, MySpace friends.
Yes.
The two remaining people that still use
MySpace. Yes.
Actually, MySpace. I'm actually getting nostalgic for MySpace.
Me too.
Honest.
I miss MySpace.
I think it was a lot better than Facebook.
Yeah.
Or at least currently.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. So talking about things that are better than other things. Today we decided to do something interesting. We watched a movie released by Goodtimes or Golden Film Productions, or also known as like some other companies. I don't know what the fuck they're called, but anyways, they released these direct-to-video animated movies that are kind of knockoffs of Disney movies, and they used to release them in VHS with clamshells and stuff like that. The one that we're covering today actually happened to come out a few months or something before the one that it was a bootleg of, basically. We're covering Goodtimes' Aladdin, which is a 48-minute animated film based on the classic Arabian Nights story, Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. Oh,
yeah. 48 minutes was a good time, I think.
Somehow, like, I'm not sure how long the Disney version of Aladdin was, but didn't you feel like this was longer to sit through somehow?
I did, and I think that's why they only made it 48 minutes long, because an actual hour-and-a-half movie would feel like 3 hours.
Yes.
Because I think Aladdin was probably
about an hour and a half or something. Yeah,
around that
time. Yeah, and it's just...
but
oh, my God.
It felt like...
I figured we'd do this like in honor. I mean, there's a new Aladdin coming out soon. Or if not, might already be out by the time of this release. But a live-action remake of the... animated one starring Will Smith as the genie.
Oh wow, yeah, that should be pretty cool.
Possibly. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I like Will Smith. We'll see what he does with the part. Anyways, he can't be any worse than the genie in this movie.
I actually kind of... I didn't think he was that bad.
No, he was a decent... I mean, the thing is, it's weird. The cast of this movie, at least the cast that we can find online, because half the cast isn't listed.
Right.
Like, the genie was voiced by Jeff Bennett, who is a well-respected voice actor to this day. And he was the voice of Johnny Bravo for years on the TV show Johnny Bravo on the Cartoon Network. He's done like hundreds of voice work. He's from everything from like Land Before Time movies to Cinderella 2 to Balto 2 to Tarzan and Jane. He also did the voice of Brain in Inspector Gadget 2. Yeah, the great live action sequel to...
Don't get me started on that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was such a boring movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the worst one we'd ever watched.
He's also was in Mulan 2. He, Big Brother Bear 2. Yeah, but he's Little Mermaid 2, Ariel's Beginning, or 3, or whichever one that was. I think it was 3. And, but he's, like I said, he's done. I mean, and I'm just going back. That's just back to like 8 years ago now, right. Or not even that. I mean, now I'm coming forward. And he's like he did the voice of the Joker in Scooby-Doo and Batman: The Brave and the Bold, which is a direct-to-video movie coming out soon. I mean, he's
done some stuff.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of television work too. He was a regular voice actor on the Rugrats and Animaniacs, and he actually did voices on the animated series Aladdin.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny. The animated series based on the Disney movie, not on this movie, because this did not get an animated series.
No, I'm surprised. I was hoping for one.
Yeah.
This one was a classic. You know what? You can't deny though that at least this one, they were definitely going for a unique story, because it's a lot different than the plot. I mean, even I don't even know if we can't kind of call it a knockoff, because it's the plot.
No, I mean, and the thing is, they made it before the other one came out, so it's like they didn't have the other one to base it on too.
It came out, it came out before it, but I think it was because
they knew the other one was coming out.
That one took so much more time because it's actually good. And with the animation, they could just do that one real quick, because the animation was terrible.
This was like bad 90s television animation. Like it was like worse than like the animation in like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series and stuff like that. Speaking of which, Cam Clark, who does the voice of Aladdin in this, was also one of the regulars on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series. He voiced which one did he voice? He voiced Leonardo and Rocksteady as well. So yeah, he was a regular on that show. So like I said, this is actually a decent cast. You got Corey Burton too, who I don't need to go through his lists. You can look that up. I don't feel like going through it, but he's done like billions of voice work too. So you've got a good cast here. The writing, not so much. The animation, not so much.
The music.
I mean the mouth movements don't even sync up to the things that people are saying. It's almost like it was a foreign film. Like it's like when you watch an anime and they dub it into English. Sometimes things aren't quite lined up, but I swear that
this is actually
this
already
is worse
in English.
So and it was made as an English movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so there's no excuse really for that. Oh my god, dude! I know. And I'll also remember when the kids are they're trying to steal his cabbage.
Yeah,
and then they just disappear when they run away. Like they don't even go. They don't.
Yeah, they're going around a corner, and instead of going fully around the corner, they disappear before they're even in the animation.
They didn't even want to finish them rounding the corner. Like, no, okay, it's fine. We'll just have them disappear. And
so
that was a great scene.
Yeah,
many great scenes in this movie.
So I mean, the basic premise of this movie is there's a young boy named Aladdin. He lives a poor life with his mother. And there's a man named Hasim who comes and poses as his uncle. And somehow the mom and him just automatically believe that this is Aladdin's dead dad's brother that they'd never heard of before.
Like, yeah, no one ever... Like,
but this is actually, surprisingly, in the original story.
It is?
Yes.
They just believed that it was some guy...
I mean, I'm sure that there was probably better story. It was written better in the original. I've never read the original from the 101 Nights or whatever, the Arabian Nights stories. But, it's like...
I guess back then it may have been more believable.
Yeah.
Because if you traveled a lot, for example, and you weren't from where you ended up, you don't exactly have pictures of your family. So I guess if someone knew a little bit about you, they could just say, oh, well, yeah, because I grew up with them, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just weird.
But, I mean, my thing is like, my dad, who was an only child, if, like, say, God forbid, he died when I was a kid, I would have think that if he had a brother, he would have mentioned it to my mom.
Right. Or so, yeah.
Like while they were dating or married or something, I'm just saying.
I know. It's weird. Unless, like, they were only together for like 2 nights before he died, and then they conceived Aladdin, and then that was it.
Yeah, I mean, it was arranged marriage.
And then he died right immediately. But even then, you think you slip few things about
or you
life.
think you would have, like, usually when there's an arranged marriage, the family that you're being arranged to. Yeah, maybe, your mother-in-law or your father-in-law or somebody would say, hey, yeah, we got a son named Hasim who lives in Africa.
Right. That's the other thing. Just Africa. They don't say what country. It's his homeland of Africa.
Yep.
Could be Egypt, more probably likely, just by the way he looked. And also, because he kept saying Allah. Well, he kept saying Allah, which is not how he's pronounced the name Allah, but whatever. That's a pet peeve of mine when people. Oh, that's fine. And then,
that's like the one of the. I mean, it's not the worst thing in this movie.
No, it's not. It's actually mild. But yeah, like what were you saying about the plot? Yeah, there's Aladdin, his uncle, his supposed uncle.
Yeah, so his supposed uncle comes and because he had gone and talked to this like magic lady person. I don't know what you want to call her.
A medicine woman.
Yeah, Fatima.
Yeah,
that's how they pronounce it.
Yes, how they pronounce it.
Anyways, so Fatima says that he needs to go, and they don't even explain why at all. He has to go find this boy named Aladdin.
Right. There's no explanation. Like, why is he special? They don't say why. Is it because he's nice? Is he pure?
I mean, and my thing is, too, it's like, this is a decent-sized city, too.
Right.
Do you think there's only one boy named Aladdin in this town?
Right.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. Maybe it is a unique name. I don't know. I've never heard it before or since.
I haven't either. Yeah.
But I'm just saying it would. I don't know.
But still, the fact that even if it is a unique name, how does he know which town or neighborhood to even go into to even find him?
So then he magically finds him.
Yeah, using magic.
Probably. Yeah, and then he takes him to this place, makes him go into this cave to get a lamp. He finds the lamp, and when he's underground in this cave, in this magical forest-looking area where deer and raccoons and other woodland creatures running around, somehow underground with a blue sky.
Yeah, that's a weird garden, magic garden, secret garden.
And so he finds the lamp. And refuses to give it to Hasim because...
But he takes all the jewels, the gems, too.
Yeah, he steals gems because he's told when he goes in by Hasim, don't touch anything but the lamp.
So we're thinking it's going to be like the Disney movie, right? Where if you touch anything, if you're tempted, the thing's going to cave in and blah, blah, blah. He just steals the jewels, nothing happens to him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess later he does get trapped in there like in the Disney one, but he's trapped in there by Hasim.
Right.
It's but anyways, hey folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
we just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So
it was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way. Anyways, so sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye. I don't know. What else happened? Yeah, he had already actually kind of figured out that, because he's pretty smart, after his mom just let him go out into the desert with some strange man who just came to the door and said, "Yo, I'm your brother-in-law." And
he's like, "You're not my uncle."
Yeah, he starts saying, "I don't think you're my uncle. Oh, no." And
smart boy.
I don't think you and my dad played these games.
Oh yeah, that was another line. It's like, what? Oh God.
But
make a fire at midday.
Why?
Sorry.
Anyways,
that was for the spell.
Yeah, he. Anyways, so Hasim traps Aladdin into the cave. Aladdin accidentally rubs the lamp. Guess what comes out?
Genie comes out. But it's not Robin Williams.
How'd you know?
I just figured it out. Yeah. He's not blue either. He just looks like a regular guy with really big muscles, apparently, for some reason.
Yeah, he looks like Dave Bautista with a mustache or something. Anyways, he's got I don't know. He's got unlimited wishes, by the way, because the 3-wish thing is actually just a Disney concoction. He grants him, a wish to come back home safe. And Aladdin keeps the lamp because his mother disregarded it when he tried to show it to him. Keeps it hidden along with the jewels for 4 years.
4 years, yeah. We're going, and she says magic is dangerous. You're thinking, oh, this is an interesting plot twist. How does she know this? Does she have experience with magic? Nope, we're not going to get an explanation either. No. It's just a statement, and then that's it.
Well, her fake brother-in-law does magic, that's
so
that's how she knows.
Oh, but no, that's no. Yeah, 4 years passes,
and so somehow Aladdin is captivated by the Sultan's daughter that he's never seen. Yeah, so he decides to do what, Matt?
Okay, well, so what happens is he's playing outside or doing whatever he's doing outside. I don't know, trying to find work or something. And she pulls him inside and tells him that the Sultan has said everyone to stay inside their houses and shutter their windows because anyone who gazes upon his princess daughter will be trampled upon by camels.
Yes.
Because we haven't gotten races. Oh, yeah, by the way, all the villains have really long hook noses and darker skin. So there's an interesting thing about that. Anyway, so he decides, oh, well, I'm brave. And even though I have this lamp sitting here for 4 years that can grant me any wish I want, instead of wishing to see...
Oh, yeah, by the way, before we get too far, when they boarded up the windows... They didn't even have hammers.
Oh,
they
right.
used rocks.
They were using rocks. Exactly.
I just found that interesting little tidbit.
And, they could say, oh, that's because they're poor. I think it's more because you're like, oh, well, they're Persians. That's the other thing, too. They're not Arabs. Because he said Persian Aladdin.
A Persian boy. In the beautiful opening song called Rub the Lamp.
That's right, Rub the Lamp. Yeah. He says a Persian boy. So they're in Iran somewhere. Don't say where, just whatever, somewhere. And then... So he decides, well, instead of asking the genie to take me to see her or just show an image of her somehow through magic. He decides he's going to go to a bathhouse and break in and try to look at her. We don't know if he was going to try to actually see her bathing. I hope not. But we don't know. But he did.
That was cut from this version of the movie. No.
But he did get a look at her before he could even think about going any further than that. And then he's spotted by the guy, I guess, who owns the bathhouse, which is kind of creepy in of itself, because he's like, I own a bathhouse. You just have your daughter come. It's like, oh, okay.
It's the best bathhouse in the world.
It's like, yes, really, you got like a secret door or something,
and then
you peep at people, you weirdo. But anyway,
and then he's rambling on at one point, and the Sultan kind of cuts him off, and he's like, "Oh, you came here for bubbles, not for babble."
Oh my god, yeah.
And then of course, Layla, the princess.
Yeah, Layla.
Got me on my. Okay, anyways, the she laughs really weird, like
she like giggles like just like your. Like, by the way, Layla has no personality.
No,
and I'm
none
not saying
whatsoever.
that. I'm not saying it as like an insult. I mean, like they purposely made her character to have almost like a blank look on her
like
face.
The
like
only
she has no smile or nothing. Just,
the only female in this whole movie who has any kind of personality is Fatima.
Right, and she's of course the villain.
Yeah,
and whatever, and so so the guy calls the guards to try to chase them out. They have a ridiculous sword fight, and he jumps on a horse and to get away, and then the guys, we'll get you next time, whatever type of crap, and then I forgot what happens after that. But
anyways, the next day, Aladdin shows the jewels that he's been hiding to his mom after saying he wants to marry Layla.
That's right, the jewels he's been holding on to.
So the mother decides to go and try to basically buy Layla from the Sultan in a way with those jewels.
Right. His own mother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
She presents the sack of jewels, and then the Sultan has a conniving vizier who wants to marry off Layla to his son.
Mm-hmm.
So he tries to who is like kind of another Jafar analog, if you will, because we got like two of them in this movie, but this one's just barely in the movie.
Yeah, he's only in like 2 scenes.
Like, whereas in the other movie, he's the vizier. They basically combine the two characters and get rid of the whole Uncle Angle.
Right.
Uncle Angle. That sounds like a good name for a band.
Yeah, Uncle Angle. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, basically the vizier convinces the Sultan that Layla is worth more than those jewels, yet he still takes the jewels.
Exactly. It's like, thanks for presenting me with these jewels. Bye.
Yeah, you get nothing in return.
Well, what are they gonna do? He's a Sultan. I mean, she can't do it.
And so,
such an ass.
Mama Aladdin comes back and talks to Aladdin, and she's because his mom never gets a name.
She's his mother or mom. Like, there's no. That's it.
Because she really has no personality whatsoever either.
She wears the same outfit for 4 years too,
with a veil in front of it that the animation makes disappear from time to time.
Right.
It's a see-through veil, but it's just really.
It will disappear though.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Anyways, basically they say that Aladdin should bring bigger riches and servants. With the aid of the lamp, he accomplishes that, and the Sultan allows Aladdin to marry Layla. And then we have a nice narration, like the movie's over and they live happily ever after for years. But then there's 20 minutes left in the fucking movie.
So that's interesting. So like in the Disney, he spends a lot of time courting Jasmine until she eventually, actually starts liking him. And then I forgot what happens, whatever. But in this movie, it's like 2 scenes and then they're married. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Like, and they don't even get married in the Disney version.
No, they don't. In this one, they get married. They he has a mansion built for himself by a genie.
Yeah.
And then Aladdin's on a hunting trip.
Yeah.
Which they don't explain if it's for pleasure, which I don't think he would.
So Fatima sends a carrier pigeon to Africa.
To Africa. Doesn't say where.
From Persia to Africa. This is one great bird. That's all I'm going to say.
I know.
Made it all that way.
I know.
And the carrier pigeon sends a message to Hassim that that Aladdin got out and he's got the lamp and blah 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 and everything that we've talked about so far. And Hassim comes back and he pretends to be selling new lamps for old lamps. Oh my God.
And they're like, and then Layla's servants, I guess is who they are, or maybe her.
Yeah, Shalimar and somebody else.
And they're like,
yeah,
who would accept old lamps for new lamps? That's such a terrible bit. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Layla's like, well, maybe so, but I want to give him my lamp so I can show Aladdin how shrewd I am. Impress him. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay,
so yeah, that she trades the lamp that happens to have a genie in it that somehow Aladdin had yet to tell after all these years of being married. Because more years had passed.
Well, yeah, he doesn't tell her anything because she's just Layla.
Because this is a great marriage built on lies.
Yeah. I mean, he lied to his own mother for 4 years.
But who cares? Because Layla has no personality.
Nothing.
So
I mean, the only time when she was wanting to impress him, that was the first time she had actually spoken about any actual desire or anything that she was interested in whatsoever. And of course, it was about impressing her husband.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything to do with her. She wanted to show Aladdin how shrewd she is. But just a weird word to say, shrewd. Like, why would you want your husband, who is already rich, to be impressed with how shrewd you are? I don't get it. Whatever. And then
that's weird, I don't understand how
he even would be impressed by that. It's such a weird.
I don't think there's any scenario in the world where a princess would give a shit about a fucking lamp.
Exactly.
Or even remember that we have a fucking lamp.
Like, I got this great deal on a lamp, honey. Like, what? Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, that's what Prince Harry and William, worry about when they get married. They're like, now, if we have to sell a lamp, will you be able to get us a better lamp? That was the sticking point before Kate and Meghan married them. It's like, right, okay,
right. And what? Okay, why do they even call it a lamp? Because you can't get any light from it.
Well, so it's an oil lamp, which is like a lamp that holds oil and stuff. The back then, I wondered that too. Back when I was a big fan of Aladdin. Yeah.
So, so then obviously she trades it in.
Yeah, and so then good old Hassim, in his conniving ways, moves Aladdin's palace with everybody in it to Africa,
where he lives.
In Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
Not a specific
just
country
Africa.
or city in Africa, but in Africa.
Yeah. Well, he wants his whereabouts to be not slightly unknown. He doesn't want people knowing exactly where he lives. So.
I mean, just like when people ask me where I live, I'd be like, I live in North America.
Right. Take a guess.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, so somehow because of this, then Hassim gets Layla in the deal because she's a possession. They didn't even explain like if he was married to her or what.
I think he kidnapped her.
Yeah, basically. And so I don't know. I don't want to know what happened.
But even then, when Aladdin shows up, she again has like no personality. It's like you've been kidnapped by a crazy dark magician. And by dark, I mean even his skin is darker than everyone, all the good guys. Yes. But okay. And not only did he kidnap you, he literally had your entire house moved all the way from Persia to Africa. And then when Aladdin comes to get you, you're just like, oh, you came back. Like, and what? Like,
they didn't even show a scene. They should have showed a scene where maybe he was somehow terrorizing her or she was crying and upset. But no.
I mean, he already threatened to flail Aladdin's hide, was it?
Yeah, something.
And then cut him up into pieces. I mean, this guy's a violent dude, so it's like,
yeah.
At least his threats are violent. And,
Yeah,
who knows?
and somehow Food Network related or something. I don't know what the, but
I'm gonna flail you.
And then but he anyway, so Aladdin convinces is about to be killed by the Sultan for his allowing this to happen somehow, even though he was on a hunting trip and it was actually Layla's fucking fault. But anyways,
well, she didn't know.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
He never told her.
So somehow, I guess it is his fault because he never told his wife that this lamp was magical,
and that someday some guy might be looking for it.
Yeah.
Be aware of anyone that's talking about lamps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No. I got busy be.
Even old Biff was smart enough to warn young Biff in Back to the Future too, to if an old man and a young kid come blah blah blah. But anyways,
right, come talking about some almanac.
So anyways, the so basically Aladdin convinces them to let him sail to Africa.
Yeah, he finds them somehow.
Yeah. And
which is weird because how does he know where?
How many years would it take to? Yeah. Anyways,
it would take a long time.
Yeah,
to sail. Yeah.
But anyways, he gets to Africa, finds the castle and all that stuff, and finds Layla, and then he finds Hasim laying there with the lamp tied to him in his bed. Mm-hmm. That would be lumpy. I mean, that would hurt, having a lamp under.
He sleeps on this one side.
Yeah, okay. And then so he cuts the lamp out, gets the lamp.
Stands there for like 30 fucking seconds.
Yeah. It's just like, okay,
leave,
dude,
leave.
Yeah. You've accomplished your goal. Get the fuck out. Anyways, so then he basically gets the genie to transport the castle back to Persia.
Right. Which, okay, so I'm kind of confused about this. So I thought that the mansion was like the guy, like Hasim was living in the mansion, right? So they transport the mansion back to where, to Persia. And then the Hasim wakes up and wakes up in his own house, but his house was the mansion. So how did he all of a sudden fashion a new house in his sleep and then wake up?
No, he woke up in the mansion.
I thought he was way away from Aladdin because they pointed and it was looked like it was all far away.
No, that was the city in front of the palace.
So he did take Hasim. Why did he take Hasim? It's because, like I said, Aladdin didn't
because Hasim was in there, and then I just don't know how Hasim got out of there then. Because then the next thing we know, Hasim goes and visits Fatima.
And kills her. This is a children's movie, by the way.
Because, by the way, in most movies, this would have ended with Hasim being captured right after the city. I mean, the castle being moved back to the city. But somehow he got out.
Because they didn't even bother to have guards.
So this movie has a couple of false endings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then but then he goes and visits Fatima and kills her off screen. And steals her clothing. And then goes to visit Layla and people in the castle. And oh God, I hate this movie. Anyways,
Genie tells Aladdin
what's going on.
So then he's prepared.
Yeah, and so then basically there's some kind of at some point the Hasim notices he kills Fatima, and then when he's there pretending to be Fatima, he tells the princess to have Aladdin wish for the egg of the fabled roc, R-O-C. Not the Charles S. Dutton character from the 90s sitcom. No, because I don't think he lays eggs or anything.
No.
Anyways,
by the way, this creature's not mentioned at all in the rest of the movie.
No, until then.
Until that one time.
Basically, the genie says that he's not able to do this because The Rock is superior to him somehow.
Yeah.
And then reveals that Fatima is actually Hasim.
Also, too, that if he were to steal the egg, everybody would be killed. Didn't say like everyone, like what, the whole world? Like
yeah,
like,
all of us.
All of us. So if I steal this egg, the world's over.
Yes,
it's done.
It's just done.
So sorry, can't do that. Yeah.
So we better keep that away from our world leaders now, because if any of them find it,
The Rock.
Yeah,
not Dwayne Johnson.
No,
but.
Not Dwayne Johnson or Charles S. Dutton.
Right.
Or Kid Rock even, or Chris Rock, or any Rock.
Any Rock, yeah.
Uh-oh, now I'm worried because Kid Rock did visit the White House at one point. Oh, shit, we're dead.
Yeah.
Fuck. Does Kid Rock lay eggs?
Bow, 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 down, wow, bow, wow. How's that go?
Bow, bow, bow with the ball, the bang a dang. Yeah, anyways. Okay. I lay eggs and I'm real shitty. Hi, folks. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
manager Matthew Haas.
You got promoted?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, anyways, folks, do you like the show Superstore? Well, I don't know. I asked the folks and nobody's answering me.
Because they're not here.
Oh,
we love
damn it. Yeah, we love it, though. Okay, folks, if you like it as much as we do, you're really going to like the Super Story podcast, which is a podcast where Matthew and I go episode by episode and give our little opinions and thoughts on it. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And, so if you like this podcast and like our little crazy banter,
then you should definitely check this out. Or I might get sad. And when I get sad, it gets pretty sad.
Yeah,
so
I can't deal with him when he's sad.
Yeah, no one can really. So
yeah. So check out Super Story Podcast right here where you get this podcast, Super Story Podcast. Anyways,
wow.
So anyways, Nassim tries to get Aladdin. They get into a sword fight. The most wonderful sword fight battle I've ever seen. It's like right up there with that Darth Maul, fight in Phantom Menace. It's like the best sword fighting I've ever seen in a movie. And Hasim is killed, but not by Aladdin.
Mm-mm.
He trips on his robe and accidentally impales himself on his own sword.
And then he turns to like some ash and just disappears. Like his body.
Yeah, he disappears.
More. So was he ever like a human, or was he some demon creature? No one knows. Or jinn?
They never explained it.
They never explained it, exactly.
No. And then everybody lives happily ever after, and we find out the narrator the whole time was the fucking dumbass bathhouse dude.
Why? It makes no sense.
Who was at the end sitting backwards on a donkey riding. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Is he not allowed to look at the princess?
Maybe.
Because he's a creep and owns a bathhouse and was like, yeah, you should take your dad to the bathhouse. And you got, it's like, why would he be in there? He was a minor character. He had nothing. I mean,
I know.
I was expecting it would be cool if it was like the Sultan being a narrator or someone.
Or the genie or.
No, yeah, exactly. The genie, that would make sense. But no, the bathhouse guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So then, anyways, I got really happy. Because they played that song from the beginning of the movie again.
Rub the lamp.
I don't even remember how it fucking goes, and I don't care.
I'm not sure.
But the rest of the music in the movie was all public domain bullshit.
All of it. That one time when they were playing that classical music.
Yeah, they're playing like some weird like
dun 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 dun. Like I would expect that to hear that in a Persian palace.
Yes.
In like the year 1200. What?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have.
They might as well played Kid Rock.
They might as well. They should have. Well, Kid Rock was doing really shitty rap music at that point in his career.
Well, ba with a ba.
No, I mean before that. It would be like his monkey business crap or whatever he was doing. I don't know. And then, they had Kid Rock, like old, like 1992 Kid Rock. That would just be the worst movie ever. Like we signed this new upcoming artist.
Oh God!
Oh my God, that would be the worst thing ever.
So I have one I have a couple questions for you, Matt.
Okay.
Okay. First one. If you had a genie and you could wish for anything, what would it be?
How many wishes do I get?
Just one. I'm just going to give you one.
Come on, that's bullshit. All right.
Okay. And you can't wish for more wishes.
I know. I guess I would wish for question. Can I do a combined wish?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I would wish for everyone in the world to be happy. Every creature in the world, mind you, to be happy.
Okay.
Not so if that comes in the form of riches, whatever. But just because I was gonna say, well, if I wish for a bunch of money, that could make me happy, but it might not. But if I wish for happiness, I'm gonna be happy no matter what. So therefore, it's a better deal.
Yes.
Because I could be poor or rich and be happy. Either way, I'm happy though.
Yes.
So that to me, that's actually a better deal than just asking for money or whatever.
Yes.
But also, everyone in the world, every creature in the world, mind you, not just every human being.
No.
Every animal,
every dog,
that
and
might
cat,
that
and
might change
gorilla.
the way the world works nature-wise. So maybe animals might start repopulating too much because no one's killing anyone. But we'll figure out a way.
We'll make it work.
It'll correct itself. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I would wish for?
What?
Those 48 minutes of my life back where I watched this fucking movie. Okay, sorry.
So what's the second question?
The other question I have for you is, would you recommend this film to anyone?
Ironically, yes, because even though it was bad, I actually kind of enjoyed watching it just because it was stupid. I mean, it was one of those movies where you just watched it and you're just like, it's one of those things where there's like a stream of consciousness where like scenes just kind of go into other scenes without any kind of like reason for it.
It's like a dream.
That's what I'm saying. It feels kind of, and also too like the background noise was really loud in that first scene when he's offering himself.
And then there's scenes
eggs.
where they should have had music and they didn't have any, like
Yeah,
like a
sword
dramatic sword fighting. There's no music playing.
Well, of course, that could have been because the audio was screwed up in our YouTube. That's right. We watched this video on YouTube.
Oh yeah. By the way, if you want to check at the time of this recording, it is free on YouTube. Just look it up.
Like
Aladdin.
some person just uploaded it to their own channel, and YouTube didn't take it down because they're like, But so at that point, it could have been music, but we didn't hear it.
But we heard everything else, so I don't think that there was. I don't think it was like a channel out or anything. I think it was just basically there was no music in that scene. I'm pretty sure
it was just this bunch of swords clinging.
And half the time the sound effect happened before or after the clinking of the swords.
Of course, well,
Yeah,
and
the other thing about sound effects too. Anytime the genie or anybody did anything,
oh god,
they would like shoot like lasers or something, and there'd be like a sound that sounded almost like the blasters in Star Wars or something. I don't know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why would it sound like lasers? But I would recommend it just because it's stupid and it's funny in the sense of how bad it is.
I recommend watching it with somebody else if you do watch
Well, yeah,
it.
that's the thing. You gotta have fun with it because you watch it by yourself, like at night with nothing else to do. No, it's probably not going to be fun. But if you can make fun of it, like just the fact that like like Layla's broken personality, like there's something wrong with her, like she just doesn't have, like, hi, I'm Layla, and like it's not her fault. They just wrote her as a character that's just literally controlled by everyone else, like in the Disney version, like Jasmine,
she at least you actually know her plight and the reason she wants to get away from the palace.
Right.
She
wants to marry someone that she wants to marry when she wants to get married, not someone choosing it for her. In this movie, she's like, no, I'm totally okay with it. Like, I'm just totally fine with whatever
you decide.
Whatever
good
situation you put me in, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
You could even kidnap me and put me in Africa, no specific country. I won't be that fazed by it. I'll be like, oh, Hasim took me and you're back. Like, does she have a lobotomy at one point in her story that we don't know about, and just that's her personality?
I think that's what happened. Okay. It's got to be
because there's a lot of holes.
It was in the cutscenes from the movie because the movie was running too long.
Yeah, it was running too long. There's a lot of unexplained things in here. Like why is magic dangerous? His mom must know why, but they don't explain that. We don't explain why Aladdin is wearing elf shoes, which is what that one guy said in his one thing. But I don't know. I would recommend it. Yes, not for the reasons of it being good, but just because it's funny.
Yes.
Funny to laugh at, and oddly, it just has like a. For some reason, I don't know. It was pleasurable to watch. I don't know why. I just can't explain it. But
so, just a little note on this movie too. Shortly after its appearance as a VHS by Goodtimes, the Disney company brought an unfair competition infringement lawsuit claiming that Goodtimes packaging, which was in a clamshell case just like the Disney movie, deliberately imitated the style of the images used by Disney to promote its own Aladdin theatrical film starring Robin Williams, thereby deceiving consumers into thinking they were buying the Disney film, which had not yet been issued on VHS. However, a federal court dismissed the suit on the grounds that Aladdin was a public domain work and Goodtimes packaging with an enormous mustached genie with gold and orange coloring was sufficiently distinct from the Disney's image with an enormous non-mustached blue genie.
Right, it's not that. I mean, it's similar, but it's not. You'd have to be.
But if you look at them, yeah. But the thing is, there are a lot of people. I mean, I used to work in a video store, so I know that, like with the Asylum and their movies, I had to, anytime anybody brought an Asylum movie up to the counter, I felt it was my duty to warn the person, because if somebody brings up The Day the Earth Stopped, thinking it was The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves, I had to explain to them, this is not the movie with Keanu Reeves.
How many people were okay with that?
It was about half and half.
So
because about half the people were like, "Oh, I know, I just like these bad movies." A lot of times that's what I would get as a response. But then there were a lot of people that's like, "Oh, I thought this was the one with Keanu Reeves," or "Oh, I thought Snakes on a Train was the one with Sam Jackson, not Snakes on a Plane."
It's like read. It's their fault for not reading it correctly, though. The Day the Earth Stopped.
But that's what those companies,
they do it on purpose.
They do it on purpose. Yeah, they're called. That's why they're called mockbusters.
So I get that, but what I'm saying, what I'm asking though, is that I like you're saying, some people like to watch them because they know that
they're bad. But then there are a lot of people that were, when they first came out, like they were mistaken. Like the first one that like Asylum did, that got a lot of people, was War of the Worlds. Okay. They released it like a week before the Steven Spielberg Tom Cruise movie came out, and they had theirs with C. Thomas Howell. And War of the Worlds is a public domain book, so I could make a War of the Worlds movie tomorrow if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I don't have the budget. But they didn't either. But I have seen both versions, and theirs actually isn't that bad. But they realized that was one that they made because they realized, wait, we got there's public domain, anybody can make this, so we'll make this movie. And then I don't know if they knew ahead of time that Spielberg was releasing his version, but they realized, wait, and they released it like a week or a couple days before that movie opened in theaters. And then it sold and rented like hell.
Wow.
Like it was one of the highest renters of the week and stuff like that. And, so they just started to go on that, and they already had some movies in production that they were like, "Oh, we'll change the titles of the movies." I think like they had Transmorphers,
right?
Which I think had a completely different name while in production, but they're like, "Hey, Transformers is coming out. What can we come up with that's kind of similar sounding?"
Did they have?
And I had a lot of people rented Transmorphers, and especially when the second Transmorphers 2 came out, it was like I don't know, it had a similar title to the second Transformers movie, but there was a lot of people renting it thinking it was the first Transformers movie or something. Confused as hell.
Didn't they do one recently about the Avengers? Wasn't it called like Avenging or something like that? Or
they've done, I mean, some people have done, and I don't know if it was them, but they did some kind of thing where instead of like having Avengers, they had like fairy tale characters instead of like superheroes. Like it was similar to the Avengers in the way that they got together and they were fighting like Rumpelstiltskin or something. And there was one, because there was one that was like kind of a knockoff of like Suicide Squad as well, that was like that too. And instead of having the Joker, they had Rumpelstiltskin, who was kind of similar to the Joker. And I don't know. It was. I've watched some of these movies. They're fun to watch sometimes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, go on YouTube, watch Aladdin. Let us know what you think.
The 48-minute version.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the 48-minute version that feels like 48 hours. Not the movie 48
no,
hours.
not that
no,
movie.
No, because that's a good movie. But
be prepared for the audio to cut out several times. Depending on which video you find on YouTube, because the one we saw,
it cut out a few times, but we didn't really give a shit.
No.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to follow us on social media and all that good shit. And we'll be back next time with some other fun things to talk about. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Haas. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.